Hi, I'm Brad Knowles, producer of Friday Night Flies, hosted by Scott LeBoldus and Scotty Holmes. Enjoy the show.
And we're golden.
All right, we're rolling again. Here we are, Bass Pro Tawasin, Friday Night Flies. Take two, because Jordan just came and can't even speak right now, interrupted us so kindly. So we're gonna start over. So we've got a variation of Boulder's brown trout fly from last week. As he was tying it, I thought that thing needs to be articulated. So picked up some fish spines and we're gonna play around with this. I got some pretty crazy techniques here. It's gonna be a long one, so bear with us. Let's get going. You want to zoom in there? I'll hold that there for focus for you. Adrian? Get focused up here. Zoomed in. We're on the fly, sweet. All right, so hopefully Jordan doesn't interrupt us this time. So we're gonna start all over again. So we've got these fish skull fish spines. This is their starter pack. Comes in assortment of sizes. We got 10, 15, 20, and 25 millimeter. We're gonna use the 10 and 15 millimeter sizes. Let me just grab my Sculpin here. We need some Sculpin, one of our favorite materials. So we want something not too crazy big. It's something that kind of matches up. So I think these guys will do. So basically we're gonna tie a tip on either side to make the tail that we've got going on. Chuck that there. So just kind of pull some fibers back, peel some stuff off. We're gonna keep the bottom half of this guy because we're gonna use that later on in the fly. Just kind of peel off a little bit, cut yourself a bit of a stem. Kind of do the same with the other piece here. Ooh, that's an ugly one, but we'll use it anyway. Just kind of match them up. So they're roughly the same size. Where are we going here? Oh, losing pieces left, right, and center here. We're live, we're rolling. Bass Pro Tawasin. This is going to be another one that Superfly likes because it uses just about every one of their materials. So again, we'll just cut off a little chunk there. Right on. So let's get our thread going here. Kind of cinch that guy down. Get it in there nice and tight. Bear with us with the noise. We are live, like I said. Is that the right one? Yep, that's the one there. Got a bit of a messy desk going on. So we're gonna cinch that down right on top. Make sure it's sitting nice and pretty. And we're gonna tie on the next piece on my side. Nice. That part can be a little finicky. Take your time with it. We're gonna cut these stems off. Alrighty, lock it down. And we're basically gonna get our size here. We're gonna go about a 1/2 inch or so. Make sure you got a good pair of scissors with a fine point. Snip them off. So that kind of creates the fork in the tail like most fish have. Like Boulder was saying, this one kind of imitates a sculpin, variety of different things. And we got some small Superfly and light olive crystal chenille. This stuff, I use it all the time in my woolly bugger pattern, stuff like that. Awesome material. So we're gonna take 3.5 sort of wraps up this little tiny shank, tie it off, a wrap or two in front, cut it away, and we're gonna whip finish. So that's our back portion of the fly. Nice and easy. We're gonna seal that up with some Superfly head cement. Getting kind of low, gonna have to pick up some more soon. And there, perfect. Now we're gonna start on that middle portion of the fly. Kind of get that lid back on. So as you can see, the middle portion, it's got lots of pink and red and all sorts of stuff. So this is kind of a fun technique here. You're gonna need something similar to this. It's what we call a gator grip. I got it from the Fly Fish Food Guy's website. It's got a hook, a loop there for your dubbing spinner. we'll get this stuff going. So we're gonna start by popping in that 15mm shank, like so. Then we're gonna pop it into the vise, just like that. And we're gonna get our thread going here. Oop. We'll cinch that guy down, wrap it up a little bit. And wrap back so we don't have as big of an opening. Keep wrapping forward. Stop from breaking your thread, because I've done it a few times on this pattern already. Kind of build up a little bit of a head there, just where that junction is, and all the way back. So we're gonna take some medium crystal chenille in clarets. Red will work as well. Kind of tie that in. This is gonna look super messy for you guys, so you're gonna be like, what the heck is he doing? Bear with me. Looks pretty cool in the end. Then we've got some pink polar chenille, hot pink I should say. This has that kind of UV feature that we like so much. So we're gonna tie that down. Then I've got a piece of orange Sculpin. I'm gonna kind of preen that back. We're gonna use the whole feather on this guy. Give that a couple quick little wraps. And then we got a piece of, I think it's shrimp pink. Fluorescent shrimp pink Sculpin. And I'm gonna peel half of this feather away. So that's gonna get pulled off. And we're gonna tie that in right on top of the orange. All right, like I said, it's a little messy. Bear with me. It looks pretty cool in the end. Tie that forward. Trim away the excess that we don't need. So we're gonna take the pink and we're gonna layer it with the orange. Then we're gonna take that pink polar chenille and the crystal chenille all together. So we've got kind of this, and we're gonna create our own kind of rope out of this. So I'm gonna take that gator grip, kind of pinch it down. That's gonna hold everything together. Take my dubbing spinner, and I'm just gonna spin everything together. And as you're doing this, kind of take a brush out all those fibers. Get the tail out of the way. Keep going a little bit more. Pop that out. So that's looking pretty good. And we're gonna keep everything together. We're gonna kind of preen that back. We're gonna get about 3 wraps on this second shank. That guy's kind of going there too. The third one in there, 3.5. Tie that guy off. We're gonna get a couple wraps in front. And we're gonna trim that guy away. Kind of get rid of that there. We're gonna need that again. Again. Lock it down, and we're gonna whip finish. All right, so we're gonna cut that away. And we're gonna put some more head cement on there. And the fish aren't gonna be nice to this pattern, so you might as well bulk it up whenever you can. That head cement's gonna seep right into those thread wraps there, and we're laughing. All right, so we're gonna get rid of that for now. Then I've got a size 4 Gamakatsu B10S hook. These things are super sharp. They are awesome hooks. Nice big gape on them, especially for all the material we're gonna put in there. You're gonna want something so that the fish can get their mouth around it and get going. So we're gonna tie some thread in. I've got a Superfly fly eyes in medium. I've added some prism mold eyes in medium and gold to this guy. And we're gonna tie this up at the front of the fly. This is gonna help weight our fly. I'm gonna tie them on top because I want this hook to ride inverted, so upside down. That way it doesn't get snagged as easily on the bottom. A lot of steps to this fly, so you don't want to be losing all your materials. Really lock it in. And get that guy in there nice and good. All right. Again, a little bit of head cement on these, hold them in place. And a little bit on the bottom. Awesome. So this is where the fun part starts. We're gonna wrap to the back of the hook here, and we're gonna go down the bend a little bit, about to there, kind of to the end of the barb. And we're gonna go back up, and we're gonna use some articulation wire. I had some here somewhere. There it is. Go raid your girlfriend or your wife's beading closet. There's a bead along, you get it at Michael's. It does the job. It's a 19 strand, it's plastic coated so it doesn't rust. And we're just gonna pop that on here. Leave yourself a bit of a tag, because we're gonna double this over at the end. So we're gonna kind of tie it in on top. Try to keep it slightly to one side, because we're gonna come back over top of it as well. Wrap that all the way back to that point. And then I've got a 4mm plastic bead. Guys use this for gear fishing, drift floating, and stuff like that. Kind of a small bead, but we're gonna throw it on there. This just helps prevent gets the back section sitting where we want it. So we slide that on, slide on our back half. Basically that pops in through there. And we slide it back through the bead and back up on top. Pull that nice and snug, and I'm gonna lock that down like I said. So we'll come back kind of more towards on my side of the hook, but it's still sitting on top. Do some nice open spiral turns just to get to the top here. And then we're gonna double that guy over, kind of wrap on top. Stuff is fairly flexible, this wire, so you can get it nice and snug down there. We've got these handy wire cutters. You can get those at Michael's as well. Any kind of craft shop should have them. I think we have them in store even. More for braid and stuff like that. So we'll lock that down. Go to the back of the fly. All right, so just like that middle section, we're gonna do the same kind of thing, but with green. And this is where that back half of the Sculpin kind of comes in. It's kind of that marabou feathers. It's kind of nice stuff, nice and short. So we're gonna tie in some medium green crystal chenille again, followed by some UV polar chenille and olive. Lock that down. And then we're gonna create a little bit of a tie-in point here. Crane some of these fibers back, cut it into little points. You can see there, we've got a little point going on. Tie that in on top. And we'll wrap to just about the hook point. Again, we're gonna layer all this stuff. So we got the Sculpin, we got the polar chenille, crystal chenille. We're gonna grab that dubbing spinner. We're gonna twist that up again. We're gonna kind of brush that out. So there's that rough comb. There we go. Get some of those UV fibers going on in there. A couple more twists. Again, we're gonna get about 3 wraps here. We're gonna kind of preen it back as we go. 1, and another. 1 more in there. Lock it down. Couple turns in front. And we're gonna cut that guy off. Perfect. Back wrap on that a little bit. Lock it down. So now we got a nice middle body section going on there. All right, now the fun part. I'm gonna add a lateral line. So what I've got here, you can use crystal flash for this, any stuff like that. I've got some UV predator wrap. Just gonna cut a couple pieces off the shank here. This stuff is awesome for building up bulk. I'm gonna show you an example in a minute here. So we've got a few fibers there. It comes in big packs like this. It's a hairline product. It comes in a variety of colors. This happens to be the pink. Kind of just double that over. Pull it up to one side. Wrap it forward a little bit. Pull it over. Getting a little scraggly on me there. There we go. Just pull it to the side, wrap it back. All right, and there's our lateral line going through the fly. All right, now we're gonna have some fun here. So we're gonna do a composite loop. Similar to a dubbing loop, uses dubbing. It's got a lot of versatility to it. Guys that tie intruders, it's kind of how they build up those big shoulders. You can see this one's got a pretty good shoulder on it anyway. So Adrian, if you just want to grab the camera, we'll come up over here. A little tricky to explain off camera, so get Adrian to bring the camera around. We're gonna take some ice dub in olive brown. Just give yourself a good little chunk. And we're basically gonna preen this to get all the fibers going the same direction. And kind of squish it all down a little bit. And we're gonna rip it. And we're gonna kind of preen those fibers again. And we're gonna rip it again. So now we got some fairly small fibers going on. It's not as long as it normally would be. We're basically just gonna spread the stuff out on the table. So we're gonna spread it, get a good section going. This is gonna be the base of our composite loop. Alright. Kind of spread it out, make it kind of nice and sparse. That's probably pretty good there. So we've got a nice line going on there. Then I've got some barred predator wrap in UV, just the normal color. This stuff's pretty awesome. So basically, and cut myself off a little chunk off the shank and cut about an inch or so. We're gonna kind of, some longer chunks there. I'm just gonna place that on top about 50-50. So I got half on one side, half on the other. I'm gonna cut one more chunk here. If I can get the stuff to cooperate. Alright, so we got that guy there. So we got this big mess predator wrap going on. Kind of take a bodkin, you can kind of play around with this stuff while it's on here, kind of spread it out so you get about an inch or so. It's kind of all we want there. So we're gonna make a nice Arctic fox shoulder. So I've got some olive fox here. Kind of isolate me a chunk, kind of about width of a pencil. It's kind of the best way to put it. Cut off a little chunk here. Dump those down. Get all that under fur out of there. You can keep it for dubbing if you like. Today I'm not going to. And we're gonna kind of spread all those fibers out. And about the same width as the predator wrap. I'm gonna add a little bit more to that. So these are kind of fun. Composite loops, you can literally throw whatever you want in there. They can get kind of crazy. Check out some of Jerry French's videos on YouTube. I've seen him do complete flies just using composite loops. You get a lot of movement out of them, big profile. Squeeze a lot of materials in there. Alright, so there's the end of our fox. So basically now we're just going to sandwich this over and kind of squish it down. So now we got a nice chunk of material there. And basically what we're going to do now is we're going to make a dubbing loop. So we're just going to pull the thread back, put your finger, give yourself a bit of room here. It'll be a couple inches long. I'm going to wrap around it, seal it off, kind of wrap forward. Now I'm going to take my dubbing spinner here, put it in place, and you can basically pick this entire chunk up. It's all sandwiched in there. We're going to feed that into the loop. And this is kind of where these are kind of fun, because now I can kind of mess around with the materials a bit. I can space them out if I want. I've only got a little bit of room here, so I'm not going to play with it too much. I'm going to kind of squish it up there a little bit actually. Just going to give this a couple spins just to hold it in place. And we're going to add some marabou to this. So I had some right here. So marabou can be quite fragile when you're wrapping it. So putting it in a loop is kind of a good way to hold it all in there, nice and strong. So I'm going to cut about an inch. I'm going to cut another section about an inch as well. And we're going to double this stuff up. So I'm just going to stack them on top of each other. And so I got kind of the stems pretty much, hopefully you can see that. The stems are kind of overlapping a little bit. Kind of tough to see. And we're basically just going to pop that into the loop. Like so. And we're going to keep those stems right in the middle. So you can keep adding stuff to this. Guys that do intruders, they're going to throw some what the heck is the word? Ostrich in there, or some rhea, stuff like that. And basically what we're gonna do now is we're gonna pinch that loop shut, give it a good spin, and we're gonna slowly loosen off the tension and let it spin on us. We're gonna kind of do that again. And maybe one more time. It's very easy to break your thread doing this, so be cautious. We're gonna take a pick. We're gonna kind of pick everything out now. So anything that's kind of trapped in there, any loose fibers, we're gonna get them all picked out. So basically we're making a huge hackle of synthetic and natural materials that you normally wouldn't get in a hackle form. Give another little spin, take my brush. You can be really rough with this stuff. Like I said, the fish aren't gonna be nice to it, so why should you? Now we're gonna pull it up. This is where the magic happens. So the thing that makes these things really pop is moisture. So we just got some water. Nice to have a cup with you. Get all those fibers wet. You can pinch them and pull them. Pinch and pull. Makes it a lot easier to wrap doing this as well. Same with the marabou. Get it wet. Be a little unruly at times. So we're just gonna pinch, pinch, pinch and pull. You focused?
Yep.
Okay, got everything in there? Cool. All right, now we're just gonna wrap it forward. So we're gonna do nice tight wraps. And we're gonna wrap this all the way forward. Keep going, one in front of the other, nice and tight. We're almost there. So the marabou's a little bit thinner, so we'll be able to get those right behind the eyes. We're gonna get some nice sparkle from the ice dub in there. Actually, I don't think I mentioned what color I was using. I was using the, what the heck is it here? Wrong thing there. The olive brown ice dub for this one. Just keep preening that stuff back. Get that all wrapped up right behind the eyes. And we'll tie it down. Couple wraps in front, cut that off. Alright, now we're going to take our bodkin again. We're just going to pick at this. We're going to pick it all out. Some of those fibers get trapped. Don't dig too deep with your bodkin because you can sometimes catch your thread and rip it all apart. That's no fun. We lose a lot of materials doing that. Just keep picking away all the way around until you feel you got it pretty much picked all out. Pretty much there. Another one, a couple more on top here. And we got a brush. We're gonna brush that all forward. So like I said, don't be nice to these loops. They're super strong. They hold all your materials in there. And then we're gonna kind of just brush it back. So you can probably see it there already. It's starting to get a really nice shoulder. It's really bulbous right in this area. It kind of tapers out. It's going to pulse a lot in the water, give you a really cool effect for a lot of flies. Tuck that out of the way. I'm just going to back wrap this a little bit here. And since I want this to ride hook point up, that's why I got the eyes on top of the hook right now. I want the bottom to have a little bit of white to it, similar to like the Sculpins do. So just going to take some ice dub in pearl red. It's really nice material. It's got a little bit of red tinges to it. Shimmer's awesome in the water. Just kind of create a little beard for the fly here. Tie some on top. I'm gonna wrap forward a bit. Then we're gonna pull that back, wrap over top of it. And there you can see we've got a bit of a beard on the fly there. So this is gonna be the bottom. Now we're gonna wrap it forward. I got one of these select bucktails from Superfly. These things are awesome and huge. When Boulder and Brad came in, I know they were drooling over these things. So I got it in purple here. I'm just gonna grab a small chunk. Don't need a whole heck of a lot. All right. Just clean out some of that under fur. Give it kind of a rough stack here. Pull everything together. This is gonna go right on top. Couple of good snug wraps. This is where having a rotary vise comes in handy. You can access all sides of the fly. we'll just tie that guy off. Alright. So we're gonna finish it off with some UV purple ice dub. Why not? Color doesn't really matter. I was using a shrimp pink. There it is. Shrimp pink ice dub. Adrian's got it stuck on a vise over there, hiding it from me. What a jerk.
Completely forgot.
All right, let's pull that down, dub it on fairly loosely. Adrian's giggling like a little schoolgirl over there in the corner. Loving every minute of it. Dub a nice loose noodle there. Just kind of wrap that around. Don't really like those guys. Twisting it, we're gonna go around the eyes a couple times. All right, one more turn here. And wrap a little bit in front of the eye there. Get that nice and secure. And we're gonna whip finish. All right. That's that. Again, just a little bit more head cement and we're laughing. So as this fly dries, you'll notice that marabou is really gonna puff up. It's gonna have a nice big shoulder on it because of that Arctic fox and that dubbing loop that we had going on there. Here, I'll just give a little spin for you guys. So we got the tail, we got the back end. That's now the bottom. And that's that. So that's our articulated sculpin-y brown trout pattern that Boulder tied up. Hope you guys like it. Come on in, check us out in the shop, and hope to see you soon. Rock on.